AWOL? Don't kiss your 13th month pay. Goodbye. Going AWOL is grounds for dismissal, not for forfeiting cold, hard cash you already earned.
Welcome back to the deep dive. If you've ever managed a team or worked in HR, there are a few phrases that cause instant panic, and AWOL is right at the top of that list.
Oh, absolutely. Absent without official leave.
An employee just vanishes, and suddenly you're left with this mess of paperwork and a ton of legal questions.
Mm-hmm.
And our listener today really zeroed in on the biggest one for this scenario in the Philippines.
Yeah.
If an employee goes AWOL and gets terminated, do they still get their 13th month pay?
A fantastic question.
Our mission is to cut through all that confusion, look at the labor code and do well rules you sent over, and hopefully save you from a pretty costly mistake.
And we are not going to keep you waiting. The short answer, and this surprises almost everyone, is a big yes.
Wow.
That AWOL employee is generally still entitled to a prorated amount of their 13th month pay.
Okay, so why is that so surprising? I mean, my first thought would be, you broke the contract, you get nothing.
Exactly. We all assume that if you breach your contract so severely, you literally abandon your job, you forfeit everything. But here's the core idea we're going to unpack. Labor law sees 13th month pay as wages you've already earned. It's not a bonus for good behavior. It's,
Right.
It's treated like your property, completely separate from why you were fired.
That makes perfect sense. So they can punish the action, the AWOL, but they can't reach back in time and take money for work you already did.
You've got it. It's like my granddad used to joke, if you don't show up, you don't get paid. Simple as that.
Right.
But the flip side is true. If you did show up for 8 months, well, you earned your pay for those 8 months. The law protects that.
Okay, so let's clarify what this benefit actually is legally speaking.
Sure. So the 13th month pay is not some discretionary bonus. It's a mandatory statutory benefit under what's called Presidential Decree 851.
PD 851.
Okay? It's an earned right.
And the bar to get it is pretty low, isn't it?
It's surprisingly low. All rank and file employees are entitled to it if they've worked for at least one single month during the year.
Just 1 month.
1 month. That's all it takes to secure your right to a proportional amount, even if you walk out the door later.
All right, let's get into the specifics then, because this is literally where the money is, the prorated principle.
Yes.
The idea itself is pretty straightforward, right?
Mhm.
It's based on the total basic salary you earned in the year. It's all just proportion.
That's right. So when someone is terminated for AWOL, they get the benefit based on the time they actually worked, the days or months they were AWOL. Well, they weren't earning pay, so those are just excluded.
So the employer is just paying for work that was already done. Nothing more, nothing less.
Precisely.
So we need the formula. And luckily, the Department of Labor and Employment Dole, they have a really clear official one.
They do. The formula is prorated 13th month pay equals your total basic salary earned during the year divided by 12.
Okay, total basic salary earned. We should define that.
Good point. It's very specific. It's just your basic wages for the months and days you actually worked before going AWOL. You don't include things like overtime or allowances or commissions, just the basic rate.
Let's make this real with the example from the sources. I think the math makes it click for everyone.
Let's do it.
Okay, standard scenario. An employee's basic monthly salary is 30,000 pesos. They worked from January 1st, and their last day was August 31st. So 8 full months.
Okay, so step 1, calculate the total basic salary they earned. That's 30,000 pesos times 8 months.
Which is 240,000 pesos.
Right. Then step 2, we just apply that DOE formula. You take that 240,000
And divide it by 12.
and you get 20,000 pesos.
So the big takeaway is that even though the employee was at fault, the company still legally owes them that 20,000 pesos in their final pay.
That's the bottom line. It has to be included.
Okay, now this brings us to what I think is the trickiest part for employers. This rule against unlawful forfeiture. We know AWOL is a valid reason for dismissal. So why can't a company just write a policy that says, if you go AWOL, you forfeit everything?
Because the labor code basically treats earned wages like a protected asset. It's a really fundamental principle. Any wages and benefits you've already accrued, they can't just be taken away by the employer as a penalty.
So you're disciplining the person by firing them, not by confiscating their past income.
You've got it. In fact, Article 116 of the Labor Code makes it flat out unlawful to withhold any amount from wages as a fine or punishment.
So any company policy that tries to do that is just illegal.
It's illegal. It's invalid because it contradicts the code.
That is a critical distinction. So walk us through it. What must be in that final pay packet no matter what?
Okay, there are a few key things. First, obviously, any unpaid basic salary up to the last day they work.
Right.
Second, the prorated 13th month pay we just calculated. Third is the cash conversion of unused service incentive leave, or SIL credits. This is, that mandatory 5-day leave that turns to cash if you've worked for at least a year.
And what about other leaves, like vacation leave?
Good question. That's the last one. Cash conversion of other company leaves, but only if the company policy actually allows for it to be monetized. That part isn't mandatory.
Got it. Okay, so forfeiture is a total no-go. But
Yeah,
let me play devil's advocate here, because this is what management always asks.
sure.
What if the employee owes the company money, say a salary advance?
Right.
Or worse, they left with the company laptop. Surely the company can deduct that, right?
That is exactly the right question. And the answer is yes, but it's very, very controlled. You can deduct for legitimate debts, but you can't deduct to punish. There are very strict, lawful categories.
Let's break those down. What's the first one?
The most common is Category A liabilities or debts.
Yeah.
So company loans, cash advances, the employer can deduct this, but only if they have the employee's explicit written consent. A signed loan agreement, for example. Without that signed authorization, they can't just take it.
No signed paper, no deduction. Simple enough. But what about that laptop? The lost property is much trickier when someone is AWOL.
It's way trickier. So Category B, unreturned property. Yes, you can deduct the cost, but the conditions are incredibly strict.
What do you have to do?
The employer has to conduct an investigation. They have to provide due process, which is hard when the person is gone. And they have to prove the loss was due to the employee's fault or negligence.
Wait, hold on. If the employee is unreachable, how can management possibly provide due process or conduct a proper investigation? That sounds almost impossible for HR to do in time.
It's a huge hurdle, and that's the law's protection at work. The Supreme Court has said time and again that the obligation to pay earned wages comes first.
Wow.
The employer has to pay the wages, even if they're, also suing the person to get the laptop back. Just being AWOL doesn't automatically mean you're liable for the cost. The employer still has to prove it.
That really separates the financial duty from the disciplinary action.
It does. Now, the other categories are quicker. Category C is just your mandatory stuff. SSS, Phil Health, Pag-ibig, final taxes. Those come out by law no matter what.
Okay.
And Category D would be other legal agreements, like a training bond. But even then, you can only deduct for the actual cost of the training, not for, lost business or anything like that.
That's a very clear roadmap. So we know what to pay, but AWOL employees, they never do the clearance process. Can an employer just hold the final pay forever because the clearance wasn't signed?
Absolutely not. That's another huge misconception. You cannot use incomplete clearance as an excuse to delay payment.
The deadline.
A very firm one. Dole Labor Advisory number 0620 says the final pay must be released within 30 calendar days from the date of separation.
30 days.
30 days. Clearance or no clearance. That's the limit.
That is such crucial information for any HR manager dealing with this. Okay, so let's bring this all full circle for our listener.
Let's do it.
The main takeaway is going AWOL will get you fired, but it does not erase the money you already earned. That prorated 13th month pay is totally secure.
That's it. Your statutory rights, the money for the time you actually put in, it's protected. The law makes a very clear line between firing someone for a valid reason and, punishing them financially for it.
It's really fascinating how strongly the law guards those earned wages. And, based on the material, I have one last thought I want to leave with you, our listener.
Oh.
We established that the final pay has to include the cash for unused service and incentive leave, the CSAL credits. That's a benefit you get after working for a full year.
Right.
So if AWOL employees get their prorated 13th month pay just based on the months they worked, what does their additional right to cash out those service incentive leave credits, which is a separate yearly benefit? Tell us about just how secure and absolute the protection of earned wages really is in the Philippines.
That's a powerful point to think about. It shows that every single accrued benefit has to be handled carefully.
Thank you so much for sharing these sources with us and letting us take this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
If you are interested in our legal representation, counseling, or other related services, please do not hesitate to contact us. For those interested in a free legal consultation, I invite you to reach out to me via my Facebook page, JCM Law Office. I am available every Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and would be happy to assist you.